Week 13 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few forwards I look to buy and trade for this week. The first guy, Kelly Ubray of the Charlotte Hornets. So it's been a good first season for Ubray in Charlotte. On the season, 16.6 points a game, 4 rebounds, 1.2 assists, 1.1 steals a game, and 2.9 threes a game, 45% from the field. But he's been on the safety and protocol list for the last 3 days now. Is Kelly Ubray. So right now, while he's going to be out of the lineup 5 to 10 days at least here for this Hornet team, this is the lowest his value is probably going to be all season because he's been putting up points and he's been given on his other categories as well. Decent rebounds, almost a steal a game here, and the three-point shooting's been pretty good. So January 3rd at Washington, 7 points, 2 boards, a steal at 42% from the field. January 5th versus the Pistons, 32 points, 6 boards, 9 threes, 62% from the field and a block. And January 8th versus the Bucks, 18 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, a steal, a block, 2 threes, and 41% from the field. So right here, he'll probably come back early next week here, Ubray. Like I mentioned, the 5 to 10 days he's out, but this guy's very valuable in certain categories for fantasy owners. And right now, while he's on the shelf here, it's a perfect time, in my opinion, to go out there and make an offer for him because this is the lowest his value most likely is going to be for this season. So right now, he's a good buy, low candidate is Ubray this week. The next forward I'd look to trade for this week's Alexander Walker of the New Orleans Pelicans. So Walker, his playing time's gone down over the last few games here, but I think it's going to boost back up, and he just got back in the lineup at the new year after he was on the protocol list for a couple weeks. On the season here for Alexander Walker, 13.2 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists a game, 2.1 threes a game, and only 37% from the field. In the last couple weeks here, the numbers have dropped as well. 9.7 points a game, 2 rebounds, 2.3 assists, 1.7 threes a game, and only 36% from the field. So right now, the numbers haven't been all that great. He's even been dropped in some fantasy leagues, but I think he's going to get playing time. This New Orleans Pelican team, they're really going nowhere this season, especially with their franchise player, Zion Williamson, disgruntled, and he's been injured the whole season as well. So these younger guys are going to get more of an opportunity. The last few games here for Alexander Walker, January 6th versus the Warriors, 7 points, 2 assists, a 3, 33% from the field. January 9th at the Raptors, 11 points, a rebound, 2 assists, a block, a 3, 44% from the field. Then January 11th versus the Timberwolves, 9 points, 2 boards, 6 assists, a steal, 2 threes, and 60% from the field. So right now, to be honest, he might even be out there on some waiver wires and free agent pools. And then even to get him in a trade, you don't got to give up much to get him. But this guy, we've seen the potential last season where he got some big playing time. He was scoring the basketball great, was Alexander Walker. And I think he'll get back to that. So right now, while his value is real low, you could put a low ball offer out there to the Nikhil Alexander Walker owner and see if you could get him this week. In the third and final forward I'd look to trade for this week's Lauri Markkanen of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the Cavs here, surprisingly this season, they're one of the surprising teams in the Eastern Conference. And they got a lot of good depth on this Cav team and a lot of young guys and some veterans as well. But Lauri Markkanen, he signed a big contract in the offseason, and the numbers aren't really that eye-popping, but he's still producing and putting up consistent numbers at what his averages are on the season. 13.3 points a game, 5.3 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 1.8 threes a game, and 41% from the field. So his field goal percentage is definitely a problem. After last season, it was 48%, dropping 7% this year. In the last couple weeks here for Markkanen, 11.9 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.4 threes a game, and 41% from the field. So like I mentioned, this Cav team, they got a lot of good guys on this team, especially in the front court with Evan Mobley, a great rookie this year. Jared Allen, what a good move it was to get him in a trade last season for Cleveland. And also Kevin Love's having a resurgence here. But Lauri Markkanen, he's still pretty solid, 13 and 6 a game with a few threes a game and some assists. So the last few games for him, January 7th at Portland, 15 points, a rebound, 5 assists, a steal, a block, 2 threes, 44% from the field. January 9th at the Warriors, 9 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, a steal, a 3, 33% from the field. Then January 10th versus the Kings, 15 points, 5 boards, an assist, a block, and 3 threes, 42% from the field. So Markkanen, he still plays about 30 minutes a game here for this Cavs team. And we know when he gets on a hot stretch, this guy really could put up points and in a hurry. So right now, while he's just being consistent but not putting up huge numbers, this is a perfect time, in my opinion, to pounce and try to make a buy trade for him this week. So that's a few forwards I look to trade for and buy for Week 13 of the fantasy basketball season.